Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to the November 21st edition of Megas and Movers podcast. How are you doing today, folks? Today, talking about funnels. And I know it's a weird, scary word for some, so hopefully by the end of this, you're not so weirded out or scared by it. So that's what we're talking today. Funnels, what that means. Because this is fa la 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 funnels. We're gonna talk about how to sell without feeling salesy. Pretty excitement. Now, if this is your first time here, long time here. Here's what I need from you: who you are, where you're from, what's in your cup, what the weather is like in your area, and your 5 things. What are 5 things that you are going to accomplish today? We'll talk a little. You want to hear a personal, little personal story. Here's what we got. You guys, I'll fill you guys in. Yesterday, we had a kidney appointment down at the Children's Hospital. And yeah, had some car troubles on the way back, so that was awesome. It took all day, made it back safe and sound, got everything fixed last night. But hey, there's another, what, $600-700 expense. Didn't expect that. Welcome to real life, right? Was able to work on the road down there, so got some things accomplished. Worked on the way back. It has been a long, trying week, and just want you to know, everybody out there, just take a breath. You're not alone. I'm telling you, shit happens every single day. Sorry, I swore this early in the morning for some, but we can all go through it. You are here, you're awake, you're breathing. That's the best thing we're going for us. I just want you're not alone. I need to check in more with you. How are you feeling? How are you doing? We're coming to a hectic time of year, and just want to make sure that you're good, and want to make sure that you know that you are not alone. Because I'm telling you, sometimes you just need to hear that, and I needed to hear that yesterday, and I did, and it definitely helped out. So I am repaying re what is that when you replay, re-forward, no, you know what I mean when you put it out there. So I'm gonna do that more for you guys. Peggy, good morning to you. And Sharon, good morning. Hello from Kansas. Coffee in the cup, build gang sheet, ship orders, clean work area, add new products to the shop. Very, very nice. Gabriella, good morning to you, or good afternoon. Good afternoon. Checking what color rhinestones I have so I know what to order. We going through that as well. Like, okay, here's the next stock order. What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? Keith, good morning to you from the sunny Space Coast there in Florida. Get more flock and transfer tape. Get it all. Get it all. Get it all. Barb, good morning to you. North Central Minnesota 24 and sunny. Water in the cup. 5 things. Customer pickup, bookmark layouts, digitizing embroidered polos, clean fireplaces. That's not a bad day. It's not a bad. Tim, good morning to you. Our 5 things is a lot of the same old stuff. We've got store updates that we need to do. We got Black Friday specials that we're working on over the weekend, so we're ready to go with those on Tuesday. We've got supplies that need to be ordered. We've got 2 meetings this afternoon on. These are personal projects we're not making zero money off of. We found there's somebody that's in need of some stuff. I'm like, let's just do it. Like, I don't care. So we got that, and then Wizard update later on this afternoon. So we got a busy day going through stuff. So I say I say we just get into it, right? Get into it because we got to rock and roll with it. The goal of today is we want to turn our festive fun that's going to start happening, and we want to turn that into that smart marketing, emails, posts. We want those stories. We want them to feel like cheer and not so much of a chore. We're going to tell you, exactly what a funnel is and how, you can create one, without that CRM there's for it. Because if you cringe at the word sales, congratulations, you're not alone. You're just like about every other maker that I know. You know, I could be the exception. If you're the exception, type in the comments exception. But most small business owners don't wake up thinking, I can't wait to build a sales funnel today. You know, they just want to make good products. They just want to serve good people and not feel like, that pushy used car salesman, trying to move clearance items. They a funnel isn't, you know, sleazy or bad or dumb. It's just simply a journey that someone takes from finding you to buying from you. All right. So it's from point A to point B. Now, the funnel part, that's you. That's what you get to make that journey fun and festive and fertile, full of personality. You know, right now, the holiday season, it's a perfect time to lean into this. And why is that? Well, because people are already expecting, people are already in a cheerful and buying mood. They already expect emails, they expect posts, they expect recommendations. So this means you can show up without feeling like, you're selling your soul. And the best part of all this is you don't need fancy software, employees, a CRM, or, some $1,000 a month automation tool to make this work for you. You know, a funnel, well, it can be as simple as just a series of posts, a couple emails, a story sequence that gently nudges people from, man, I love this, to, all right, take my money. So, today we'll break down how you can create those holiday funnels that feel like cheer and not chores. Using the tools that you already have, content you're already making, and that heart of yours that is already giving. And so hopefully by the end of this episode, you'll know exactly how to guide your customers through a fun, festive buying experience without ever feeling salesy at all. So, number one, do you know what a funnel is? Like, if you don't, completely understandable. And sometimes people are like, yes, I know this. I don't have a clue, but I don't want to feel stupid for not knowing. All right. Well, let's just understand what a funnel is, because it's not complicated. Most makers, they hear funnel and they automatically immediately start thinking spreadsheets, ads, complicated software, giant CRM dashboards, full of things that need to be moved and done, and they just don't know. But at the core, a funnel is just simply a path from uh, people. It's just a path that people take from finding you to liking you to trusting you to buying from you. That's it. A funnel is just a customer journey. There's not any software required for any of that. When you show people what you're making, you tell them why it matters, and you give them a clear way to buy, congratulations, you've already built a funnel. A funnel can be, three posts in a row that build excitement. It can be a story sequence. It can be a single email followed by a reminder email tomorrow. What funnels are is they are about intention, not technology. When you think of funnels this way, the pressure should melt off from it. You're not marketing, you're just guiding people. You're helping them understand what you make, why it's awesome, and how it makes their life easier and more fun. And during the holidays, people love to be guided. So, some examples, a Tumblr maker posted a reel showing her new design, followed the next day with here's how it made video. And on day 3, posted want one, here's how to order. Zero CRM, zero automation, and she sold out within 2 days. Yeah. Uh, a DTF friend of ours, they posted a carousel of holiday gang sheet ideas, then followed it up with a story saying tap here for pricing, and then an email showing customer photos. That simple sequence that increased her weekly orders by 40%. So, action step is let's just write down a 3-step path that we want customers to take this week. Step 1, awareness. Step 2, interest. Step 3, buy. That's it. That's your funnel. In fact, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put that down here in the comments. So that way we know this is what we're going to do. That's what we're doing. We're going to get this done in there. Now, did it post? I think it posted. Did it post? Yeah, there it goes. There it goes. There it goes. It dropped it in there for it. All right. Number 2, let's make our first touch fun, not forceful, right? The top of your funnel, because remember, a funnel is like this. Everything comes in here, funnels it out to the bottom, boom. You know, the funnel, the first step is awareness. It shouldn't feel like a pitch. It should really feel like a party. And this is where you bring the festive fun, sneak peeks, behind the scenes, silly moments, holiday chaos, cute packaging shots, you just being you. When your first impression feels joyful, you know what happens? People naturally lean in. You know, your goals, well, in these early posts, it's just simply to make people curious, not pressured to do anything. You know, think of it more like tapping on someone's shoulder and being like, "Hey, look what I made." You know, the more relaxed and entertaining that stage is, the more comfortable that your audience is going to feel moving forward in the funnel. And holiday content, man, that works especially well because people are already scrolling for inspiration. They're already looking for ideas. They're like, what should I get? So the more fun your top of funnel energy is, there's a good chance that the more people you'll pull deeper down into your world without even asking for a sale yet. So, some examples of this: Sublimation Shop made a funny reel just showing all their Christmas mugs stacked up like a tree. You know, the video wasn't an ad; it was just fun, but it brought in hundreds of views, new followers, and interest in buying her holiday lineup. Another one, rhinestone artist. We all know this. You know, we take out the rhinestone artist. Let's just go make her because this is going to go here. You know, they did a holiday workshop chaos tour. You know, showing stuff everywhere and multi-level multitasking. Right, felt relatable, and it warmed our audience up for future offers. So for this, we just need to create one zero pressure holiday post today that introduces your products without selling anything. Now, number three, let's lead with value in the middle of the funnel. So we're up here. Now we're about here because down here is there. So about right in there. You know, once people know who you are and what you make, the middle of the funnel, that's where you build your trust. You know, that's the part that should feel generous. It should feel helpful. Most importantly, it should feel human and not salesy. You know, think of tips and ideas and FAQs and gift guides. Which one should you choose? Demos of how people are actually using your items in real life. Middle of the funnel content answers the questions that your customers are quietly thinking. Is this right for me? When you help people picture themselves using your product, you've already halfway sold them. You're not pushing them, you're just reassuring them. You're giving them the confidence and the clarity that they need to make that purchase. So this is a stage where your cheer really does matter. Holiday buyers, they want to feel taken care of. When you guide them with kindness and expertise, they feel safer buying from you than from the big box stores. So some examples of this, is a shirt maker created a simple top 5 teacher gifts post and listed which designs were best selling for each personality type. Customers loved the guidance, and it led to multiple sales. Another example is a laser pew 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 engraver showed side by side video comparing gift box options, explaining who each one is perfect for. Customers used it like that cheat sheet and started tagging friends. Ooh, this one is so you. So, action step for this is we just need to make one helpful educational post this week that helps buyers choose the right product confidently. All right. Now, before we get into 4 and 5, let's check back in and see where we are with that. Let's see. Linda, hey there. Cloudy, rainy Texas. Hot tea in the cup today. Edit photos, 3D print, volunteer for ROTC lunch. Press Chipley. Very nice. We got to talk in our mentorship community call today, Linda, because Tim is pressuring me into buying a 3D printer because Bamboo did release their price on stuff. And so we will be getting a PS2. Thanks, Tim. Thanks for the pressure. I was like, I'm on the fence. Tim has to send me stuff. Thanks for that. Let's see, where were we? And Peg's got 50, breezy 59. Water in my tumbler, coffee in my cup, sub printing pics for 23 blankets and 23 pillow shams. Look at that. 2, 3. Subbing socks, cutting arts templates, making water slides for stocking stuffers, and a nap. Oh, I love that nap. I would love, love that nap. Nicole's got a quick question. I bought the 2024 standard 20 Corel 2024 instead of Graphic Suite. Is that going to work, or is there an add-on to make it where I can use? It should work. It should work just fine. Yeah, it should work just fine because the standard one, because the Graphic Suite I think has all the extra stuff that's in it. but you should be perfectly fine with that. The best thing is go to the site, download the trial, and if it loads, then we know we're good to go with it. But I'm almost positive it does. Let's just do it. I'm about to buy my fourth one. I know I should just do it. We had more talk of like, oh, we can have this so that way we can make stuff to show off stuff. That's what it's going to be, a total business expense to make stuff to show off stuff. That's I, I'm gonna pull the trigger. I think I'm gonna pull the trigger. I'm gonna pull the trigger. Ooh, and Gabrielle just got the M1. Look at that. I love it. What you making with it? Uh, I like micro reality. Well, it's like what's the best way to do that? It's kind of like you know what you know, and once you know it, it's hard to move from that. I 100% get you, Jeff, when you know your stuff and how it works. But me, as a new person that doesn't want to mess with a whole lot of stuff, you know, Bamboo's kind of like the Apple of the 3D world. I just got to turn it on and press something and it works. I don't have to think too much. Come on, man. Now we're talking. You're very welcome. You're very welcome on that. And hello, all. Hello to you. I need to get the additional safety pieces. Was that the what's that? Is that the AP2? Is that what it is? The purifier that goes with it. Okay, let's get back into it. Number four. Number four. Number four. You know what we need to do? We need to make the ask simple, clear, and cheerful. Right? When it comes time to ask for that sale, you do not need to be salesy. The real trick of it is clarity. Holiday customers, man, they're already, have enough going on, overwhelmed, they're tired, they're distracted. So when you give them a simple, cheerful call to action, you are not pushing, you're helping them. You know, your ask should be short, friendly, and most importantly, obvious. Tell them how to order, when to order, and what they need to know. Think of it as just that gentle nudge wrapped up in a bow. All right. And because you already warm them up with fun and value, your ask, it feels very natural and not forced. Now, this stage works beautifully with stories and reels and pin posts, even emails. Cheerful countdowns, last call reminders, or grab yours before they're gone messages. They work really well because they're clear, and clarity is kindness. So some examples of this is, well, we had a shop that posted, want one? Come at holiday, and I'll message you the order link. They just removed the friction, and her conversion rate skyrocketed. If you haven't noticed, during our 12-day sale, that's what we have. We're posting stuff on social media, and it says if you're interested, comment this, and then a link is automatically sent right to you on that. So, hey, we just remove that friction. It goes right to it, makes it easy to order. And, another maker, they sent a single email with the subject line, ready when you are. Here's an easy order button. It was just a big, clear call to action button. That was all that people needed. Go here to buy. That's it. So, what do we need to do for this? Well, action step for this is just add one clear, cheerful call to action to your next post or story. We're just going to keep it simple and direct. All right. And number five, let's follow up with our heart and not pressure. Your final stage of the funnel is follow up. This is where loyalty is born. Most small business owners skip this part completely because it feels awkward to them. But follow up doesn't not have to be salesy. It can be gratitude. It can be connection. It can be, checking in like a friend. Holiday shoppers, they appreciate feeling remembered. A thank you message, a quick, hey, how'd it turn out? Well, maybe just a fun, show me your gifts, any type of those prompts, make people feel valued. You're not trying to squeeze more money out of them. You're trying to build a relationship with them. When your customers follow up comes from that warmth instead of pressure, customers they turn into fans who will buy again without needing to be convinced. And that is where repeat business lives. So some examples of this is a shop owner, they DM their holiday customers, hey, I hope the gifts were a hit. Thanks again for supporting our small business. She wasn't selling anything, she was just connecting. Then she had several customers reorder in January. Another one posted, "Hey, show me your unboxing," and back up. Show me your unboxing. And she did this the day after Christmas and encouraged customers to share the photos. The engagement was huge, and so were the repeat orders. So, for this action step, we just need to send one friendly, no sales attached follow up message to a recent buyer this week. That's it. So, on this, here's how, to recap it all, here's how the fa la 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 funnel your way through the holidays without feeling pushy. Well, number one is we understand the real meaning of a funnel. It's just a simple customer journey, no CRM required. Number two, make your first touch festive and fun. What's it going to do? It's going to pull people in naturally. Number three, lead with value in the middle of the funnel to build trust. Number four, we're going to make our ask simple, cheerful, and crystal clear. And then number five is we're going to follow up with heart so customers will continue returning long after the holidays. Now, funnels, they don't have to be complicated, they don't have to be techy, they don't have to be salesy. They can be warm, festive, and full of personality, just like you, right? When you show up with intention and heart, customers feel it and they follow you all the way from, hey, what's this, to I'm obsessed with this maker. So get after it, go into it. I cannot wait to see what you guys put out there. Now, we do this every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time on what are we talking about on Monday? Monday, what is a holiday love story? Yeah, yeah, hot press cold coffee. That's right, holiday love story. This one's for all those makers who reheat their coffee 3 times before finishing one order and really how to laugh through that madness. That's what we're going to talk about on Monday. All right, questions, comments, concerns. Let's get those in and out of here, and that way we'll get you to continue on with your day. Uh, let's see. That's not how 310 works. Yeah, it does. Jeff, every video I showed, there's never any mistakes. There's never any mistakes. They just pull in and hit the button. I don't know what you're talking about. Every video promoting it shows perfect prints every single time. I don't even have to do post production. In fact, I'm pretty sure that when the print's done, it packages itself because I don't see anything with it. I'm just saying. Um, and Barb says she loves her Render 3. Slow, but a workhorse. The big issue, that's the biggest issue with 3D printing in general, right? The air and anti-fire. Got it, got it, got it. Yep, the little engine that could. Uh, Hero says, asking for me if somebody orders over 200, for example, any free item. So that depends on what you want to do. Like, yeah, you can 100% do that. Like ours, it's 250, they get free shipping. And other ones, they might get a free bonus pack. We've got things for bonus bundles where they'll buy it and then, there's free or mystery things shown in with it. And a lot of times it's things that you might be working on for, future stuff like, oh, hey, we're testing this out and this would be good as a complement to another product down the road. Some other times it's, hey, we're testing stuff out. When we were going through, when we went with the cams thing and we went through a bunch of transfers and we're like, okay, what do we do with these? Hey, let's cut them apart and let's throw them in orders. So, random people just got random extra transfers to be able to press on things. So it's really what you want to do. The biggest thing is always look at margins, right? I know somebody that was giving stuff away, and then when we ran the numbers, the stuff that they were giving away was really eating into their profit. When they looked at it, they're like, "Oh, that's why I'm not making as much because I keep adding these other things to give away in it." And it's like, yeah, so you just got to make sure that it makes sense. If your margins are tight on it, you got to be really careful because if we're giving something away, that'll affect it even more. So, there's no right or wrong with it. You do what feels comfortable to you. Peggy says, how do you keep from feeling negative and doing something when you train a helper for your business and they start their own, HBB? What's the HBB? Do I feel stupid now, Peggy, while still working for you? Now that you gave them and asked to stay, they start their own. They start their own. So they started their own. So they're working for you and they started their own. Well, this is what sucks is that people do that all the time. They The only way that that's not going to happen is if you do it all yourself. I mean, how many companies have started with family and the family split off and did their own things? I could probably count 5 local ones that I know where that started as brothers and they switched. They got into a fight, they got into an argument, and they split, and they're both doing the exact same thing now. It's tough. It sucks. It's gonna happen, but at the end of the day, we just gotta let it go, right? They can try and steal your customers, but I honestly feel that if somebody is able to steal my customers, they were never my customers in the first place. If they go somewhere else because of price, then they were never our customer. They didn't see the value in the services that we provide, the information that we give, the education that we hand out. And there's places where I know I can 1000% buy things cheaper from. But why don't I? Well, here's a few reasons. My prices are based on what we buy things in for. So we're making the same money, if not more, by buying from our current vendor because of how margins work. Number two, like it just works. I know every time it works. I'm not having any issues with it. And so when I just know I can pull this off the shelf and it's going to work every time, that is worth it. And then number three is the service behind it, the service that we get behind that product, you know? So I'm paying more for that, for the service, for the sales, for every part of it. So on my end, I'm like, if somebody goes, I don't, it doesn't bother me anymore. When we've had a lot of people that we have trained over the years and that we have worked with that have went off to start their own, and it was there. Some great examples of that was we worked with people, pre-COVID on a wide format printing, where we would walk through, here's this, here's the equipment that we have here, here it is. When you're ready, hey, maybe you should look at buying it. And that's what we did is we helped build their business. We printed for them, we did everything, and then boom, they were just gone and they were trying to sell to the same people we were. DTF, 1,000,000% the same. We've been printing now for 5 years. We've been in since the beginning, and we learned a lot, took a lot of lumps over the years, helped a lot of people by doing prints, and they decided to bring it in house and go right after the same customers we were serving in the same groups. What do you do? Well, hey, in the DTF is cutthroat. They're like, "Well, I just, what's the fastest, quickest I can get it?" And it seems like the service and the artwork is on the backside of it. They don't care. We just do it and move on, and hopefully know that for us, we're doing what we need to do to make us happy. We're doing what we need to do to keep us sane, and most importantly, we're doing what we need to do to keep our lights and mics on because it's tough out there. So, Peg, just stick with it. Stick with it. You got it. All right. Now, with that, we'll wrap this up. We do this every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Like I said, Monday we'll be back. This weekend we're banging out stuff so we can get prepared for Tuesday because Tuesday will be our Black Friday launch. Bingo balls are back. We'll be giving some stuff away for free. We'll launch all of our Black Friday stuff, and we'll give you another, state of the union on where we are and stuff. Right now, it still looks like we should be good on Wizard launching on December 2nd. We fixed one of the issues that we had, and it looks like everybody that had that issue is now, boom, working on that. So super excited there. And then, just some little tweaks here in the end of the stuff. So with that, home-based business, thanks. I don't know what I was thinking. Thank you for that. Um, yeah, I know a motorcycle store that this happened, brother-in-law. I see it a lot. Yep. If they don't care, they might have to close the business. Yeah, and sometimes that's just what it is. Absolutely, but there's no way I could let her keep working for me. Nope. All the tips and trips I tripped over, I kept from her immediately. And that was the thing, is so we've been put in positions before where we've, even though somebody gave a notice, we let them go because how do we know that they're not going to try in, especially in this instance when they were starting their own thing. We ran into in a few times in the heating and air company because it's a skill, and so they can learn it. And they were doing things on the side, and we're like, you can't moonlight at this. Here's what we're doing for it because you're using our trucks, you're using all of our stuff for it. We can't have that happen, and we just boom, you're done because they were starting their own thing on the side and they could see, oh yeah, there is way more to this. So yeah, 100%. You can't let them keep doing it. Yeah, like I said, you got to do what's best for you and your business. And if that's boom, boom, out the door, go for it. All right. With that, we're going to wrap this up. You guys have an amazing day, afternoon, weekend. We'll be back here Monday morning as we start the craziness of Thanksgiving week. So until then, peace, love, press on. We will see you then.